We're going to produce the cars and ships, chips, airplanes, minerals, and medicines that we need right here in America. The pharmaceutical companies are going to become roaring back. They're coming roaring back. They're all coming back to our country because if they don't, they got a big tax to pay.
President Trump granting pharmaceuticals an exemption to his hefty reciprocal tariffs alongside semiconductors, lumber, copper, and some minerals. But the industry is already bracing for that to change, with Denmark's benchmark index entering into a bear market amid concerns about Ozempic maker Novo Nordisk and potentially some tit for tat there. I want to bring in Stephen Ezell. He is Information Technology and Innovation Foundation's VP for Global Innovation Policy. Stephen, great to have you here. Pharma, somewhat safe for now? Where is it heading in your view?
Yes, pharmaceuticals were exempted today. However, we have been continually led by the Trump administration to expect that the drug industry will see tariffs at some point in the future. There is word out that the administration may open a Section 232 investigation into pharmaceutical imports in the United States. Section 232 investigations are opened under national security grounds. So while the industry is out of the woods for the moment, we may see tariffs in the future. It should also be noted, as your viewers see today, that while the pharmaceutical industry won't experience tariffs directly, there is no industry, business, or citizens that will escape unscathed from these tariffs today. In particular, these tariffs are going to make drug innovation and drug manufacturing in the United States more expensive. If you think about it, to innovate drugs, we have to have very sophisticated equipment like gene sequencers or scanning electron microscopes. To manufacture drugs, we have to have vacuum pumps and biosafety cabinets. These inputs and components come from suppliers all over the world. So even though the pharmaceutical product will be not exposed to the tariff, all these inputs and components will, and that's going to make U.S. pharmaceutical manufacturing going forward less globally competitive.
When do you think the U.S. consumer will start to recognize? I mean, they're coming for our Ozempic and our Botox, right, and a significant amount of the generic drugs. What's your expectation for when Americans could start to feel some pain?
Well, I think that as companies see that their cost of innovation and manufacturing are going to rise in the future, we'll see that starting to flow through into prices for a wide variety of products almost immediately, and I would not expect this industry to be any exception.
And to that end, what are you thinking in terms of the potential of retaliation with the likes of Novo Nordisk, for example, and how that could impact some of those prices for goods?
Well, the Trump administration in this case is like a chess player that only thinks on the offense and not looking at what the retaliatory countermeasures will be. And one thing we have to recognize as well is that even though the Trump administration hasn't imposed tariffs on these pharmaceuticals, as other countries look at the suite of tariffs they may put in place to retaliate against the U.S. tariffs, pharmaceuticals could very well be one. So this is going to harm American companies' ability to sell their products into foreign markets going forward. And I think if you asked about, Denmark in particular, Novo Nordisk, I think what we're seeing in these cases is a recognition that, the average American household is going to pay $3,000 to $5,000 more for goods by the end of this year as a result of these tariffs broadly. And that is going to have an impact on all sorts of downstream or discretionary purchasing in the United States. And this is why every industry, including life sciences, is seeing the hit from these tariffs today, because the economy is going to decrease. It was pointed out that as a result of this, Denmark may tip into recession. But global GDP is expected to decrease by 0.5% this year, including for the United States. The chances of a recession in the United States are now at 35%. So purchasing of all goods, discretionary or not, are going to decrease.
Right.
And something like Ozempic, which you need, but perhaps not as much as a cancer treatment, are going to be hit even more.